What's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Your Cousins Are Critics. Um, this is episode 10. We're finally at the season,
High five.
the season one finale. Yeah,
We made it this far.
the season one finale. I'll say.
Let's go. Proud of you.
Yeah. So yeah, episode 10. Today we are talking. Okay, so this is going to be a little different from usual because usually we do a movie that either one of us hasn't seen before. Usually it's been like movies he hasn't seen before. There's been a couple with me, but this time we're actually watching a movie that we have both of us already have seen before. But I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Years.
I think for one reason why is well, okay. I wanted to review this movie, but the reason why I wanted to was because I forgot to add this to the list of movies that it was the list of movies that I hate but everyone else likes. I actually forgot to add this one on there. Um, so so I was like, well, all right. I haven't really talked too much. I think I might have mentioned it before, but I never really talked about it on my channel that much. So I have to review it, and yeah, now here we are.
We here.
So today we are talking about the 1976 film, the horror movie Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, and it stars Sissy Spacek, John Travolta, um, let's see, Nancy Allen, PJ Souls, and the actress Piper Laurie, who I'll get to later. But yeah. So, all right. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think you got it.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, I guess. So, what should we do? Talk about the story,
We'll do a quick rundown. That's
even though
quick.
I think most people might already know it, but
Yeah, this girl named Carrie, man.
okay. All right, here we go.
I'm gonna just kind of go through it. I'm not gonna go through like the scenes of the movie really,
Okay,
but
like you have been.
yeah, she like this one's it's a much smaller story in scale. There's not that many twists and turns at all. So this girl Carrie, she's in high school. She has like a
Oh yeah,
really
she's played by Sissy
yeah.
Spacek. I should mention.
She's got a very religious mother, like an abusive mother,
Played
and
by
it's like
Piper Laurie.
yeah, and she kind of shames Carrie wherever she can, and is physically abusive and all these things, and is like forcing Carrie to follow this religious doctrine that honestly her mom's kind of formed herself. Like it's really fundamentalist Christian stuff. It's like not every Christian, you know, this is like a specific type of Christian, and so she's been abused her whole life, and taught all these things, and so she's bullied in school, and people think she's creepy. She's creepy Carrie because she acts weird,
They
and
called her Crazy Carrie.
oh, the one kid called her creepy Carrie in the with the bike.
No, he called her Crazy Carrie. I remember.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
debate,
Crazy
but
Carrie, Crazy Carrie.
creepy Carrie. I don't know. But anyway,
Pretty
uh,
sure.
anyway, it doesn't matter. But so all the kids don't like her because she's weird, and she has homemade clothes and shit. And so they bully her. She gets her first period and doesn't know what it is, and they like throw tampons and shit at her in the showers and junk like that. She goes home to her mom to kind of be like, "I thought I was dying, bro," and her mom's just like, "You're a sinner. You suck. You're gonna freaking have boys in your vagina and crap like that." And and so yeah, she's just getting fucking fucked up. And this makes the gym teacher mad. She kind of feels protective over Carrie because she sees that she's a vulnerable kid. And the teacher makes all the students who bullied her in the showers have detention, and she forces them to like exercise and stuff till they're exhausted. And this pisses off uh, one kid in particular, Chris, what's her full name? Yeah, or was it
I don't
Chrissy or
know.
something like that? What's her?
Chris, I just know
Yeah,
that's her name. Played by Nancy Allen.
then she gets mad and is like, "You can't do this," and blah blah blah. And then the gym teacher slaps her, which is really illegal and awful. Um, and so she slaps the kid, and so then she just decides like, okay, well, I've got to plot some revenge on this Carrie person. And meanwhile, on the opposite end of the spectrum, there was another girl named Sue who felt bad for bullying Carrie, and she's like, I got to make it up for her, and she's obviously an awkward kid, so I should do something, to make her feel included. So she begs her boyfriend to take,
Played by David Spade. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
yeah, begs her boyfriend to
I'll talk about
take Carrie out for prom. And this is a pretty stupid move, but granted, they're all high school kids, so what are you gonna do? They're pretty dumb. And he kind of reluctantly goes into it, and he seems like a all around decent guy. Um, and so he takes Carrie to prom, and then the bad kids, the Chris learns about it and begs her abusive boyfriend to help her, played by John Travolta, and so
that. Oh,
they
sorry, I should have said that.
and they kill a pig from this like
Was it just one pig?
they might have killed multiple, but
Yeah.
I mean I don't know. They got blood from somewhere. They got blood from this pig, put it in a bucket, and they rigged the prom king and queen thing um, for Carrie to win with uh,
Tommy.
Tommy. Yep. And so while they're on stage, she's having a great time. She's like she's starting to open up. Pig blood falls on her. And by the way, throughout this whole movie so far, I've not mentioned yet, she's got telekinetic powers
Oh.
to where she can move stuff with her mind, obviously. And so she freaks out, slams all the doors shut, and just starts like murdering everyone. And then she goes home, and her mom tries to kill her, and they both die. She causes the house to break in, and they die together. And honestly, that's pretty much the whole movie.
Okay.
Like, I mean, there's some filler, there's some stuff in
Yeah.
other places, and some things I left out, but that's pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah.
So she fucking has a shitty life, and then dies a shitty death, and everyone hates her after she's dead. So it's really sad. But that's the movie. I'm sure, as everyone knows, though, already.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. So one of us likes this movie. The
Yep.
other not so much.
Not so much.
Let's go ahead and start with your opinions, Cade,
So this
on
is
this movie.
yeah, this is what'll be interesting about this episode because it's not the plot. I mean, we'll end up talking about it, but the whole synopsis isn't a big deal. What's the big deal is that me and James, I think, have opposing opinions. So this movie, when it comes to stuff like this, um, it's really outdated. But I think through its strangeness and kind of its probably bad decisions or bad technical decisions, as I'm sure James will talk about later, it comes it has a different atmosphere than uh, another movie would, than another horror movie would. Like this movie is really there's weird music. It feels sometimes like it could be like a TV movie, but then
I
other
was about to
times,
say that.
yeah, but then other times, they're saying fuck and things that you can't say on TV.
And there's violence and nudity
Violence
in
and
it
nudity,
too.
yeah.
First scene in the movie, or one of the actually second scene in the movie, the title sequence has nudity
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, and which that scene I do not like. We can talk about that later. Um, but anyway, it's kind of weird because it has this weird balance of being a TV movie and then also like pretty despicable at the same time. And then especially the murder scene where she has the pig blood all over her face, like that's why this movie's big. Is
Yeah,
because and famous because it scared audiences,
sure,
like it really did,
sure.
and it was effective. Um, and I think we got to look at this movie in its own time and place. I think
Mm.
because yes, there were movies before this that were scary and that freaked audiences out, but this was in an era um, before horror movies became like a big commodity. I don't think. Um, and you see the inspiration. I like watching this. I was like, oh my god! Like Nightmare on Elm Street just made this movie twice, basically.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the atmosphere, the way it looks, the the ending of this movie is like it is just like the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street,
Spoilers. I
and
haven't seen Nightmare on Elm
it's
Street
really good.
yet.
I like that movie a lot. It's
Yeah.
got its problems or its like
Right.
defects as far as like it doesn't look technically the best or whatever, but I think it has
Sure.
the most important stuff, which is like heart and things. Um, but yeah, I think this movie is yeah, it's not like a masterpiece of acting. I think every actor in this movie is pretty rough. I think their performances are all rough. Sissy Spacek even. I mean, she was good.
I'll talk about that.
She was good in some parts of the movie, but I think in other parts it was just kind of it just seemed like a TV movie.
Mm.
So the way I look at this movie is like that it is a and it didn't I don't think it meant to be this way, but the whole movie I think is just a dream. It just feels like a dream to me. And it
Mm.
has that atmosphere of like not making sense, like the editing's kind of sharp or like cuts one scene to the next like pretty jarringly. The spin sequence where they're slow dancing is insane.
Oh
Like
God.
it makes you sick.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
still feel sick to be honest.
And I think this movie at the very least, it has an atmosphere when so many horror movies, especially nowadays and then, were just crap. They're just they're just something that blends in with other things. It's like, oh, okay, Bye Bye Man. No one's gonna talk about that in 40 years. They might look back on it as like, wow, this movie sucks. It's terrible.
Is that a
But
later one? The Bye Bye Man.
yeah, it came out like
I've heard
when
of
I was in
it.
high school. Um, and so yeah, I think at the very least, this movie has an atmosphere and the scene that everyone cares about. There's a reason why people care about it is because it is like pretty visceral, and it's like does like my eyes watching it like that scene does inspire me to make art of my own and things like that. So I think would I watch this movie again? Probably not if it wasn't for this podcast. But do I think it is a um, worthless movie? No. Like it built a ton of things for the horror genre, and it obviously took a lot of things from previous movies. For instance, like the Psycho music, they just ripped that pretty much,
Yeah.
um, and a bunch of other stuff. But I think this movie has its place, um, and I think I view it in a similar light as like Halloween, it basically built a type of horror movie. Now, if like people who watch it now, young people who watch it now, they're gonna be like, this movie's boring because it literally built all the tropes that they've watched for their whole life.
Mm.
So like the movie, you can't. It's hard to look at this movie. It's hard to watch Carrie with unbiased mind because you've already watched a million movies that were inspired by it, and you're like, okay, well, Nightmare on Elm Street's a lot cooler than this movie, and I would say, yeah, it is, but that
I have to see
this
that
movie's
one.
different, and this movie set up a lot of things for religious horror. I mean, there was already like The Exorcist and things like that, but
Yeah.
for interpersonal religious horror, and one's more about like abusive religious horror, this kind of I think set a pretty big standard for it. Even though like I think um, the mom, I don't even know her name, but overacted like so bad. Like it was like,
Wait, the character or the actress?
yeah, well, I mean, the actress name I don't remember.
Piper Laurie.
Yeah, she overacted
I don't
so
remember
bad. It was so.
the character's name now.
I think people are so scared of her because like they've never seen a type of person like that on screen, but yeah, she overacted so bad and was like putting on like a southern accent, kind
Actually,
of.
bumping my head on this.
Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. There's good and bad, but I don't think this movie is like a failure of cinema or something. That's my opinion on it. What's your opinion on it?
Well, first of all, you kind of said all the, kind of already said all the things I hate about it, but almost. But
What was?
I
I
just,
don't even remember what I said.
just certain stuff. Well, I'll talk about it. But yeah, so I guess he likes it at least a
Yeah.
little.
I mean, I give it the respect that it's due. Like, it's not an uninspired horror movie. It took risks, and some of them were bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, to all of the wrestling fans that are watching this, I'm gonna pull a Alondra Blaze on you. I Here's what I think about this movie.
he put it in
if,
the
if
trash.
you know, you know.
He owns that
Do you
DVD.
remember that Alondra Blaze? She was in the WWF and she won the women's championship, and then this was like right before the Monday Night Wars happened. In the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that Nitro and Raw. Anyways, she went on Nitro and she's like, "Here's what I think about the WWF and the WWF Women's Championship." And she go, she throws in her title and
She threw it in the trash.
the. So yeah, you wrestling fans. Okay, so like I said, I forgot to add this on the list of the top 10 movies I hate, but everyone else likes. Would I still put that movie on that list? Yeah, probably. But I will say this movie wasn't as agonizing as I thought it was before, but I still think it's a shitty movie. Um, Now, I think the thing that made me cringe the most was Piper Laurie's performance. I'll go ahead and say I don't understand how the fuck she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress that year. She was god awful. Like I wasn't buying it at all that she was supposed to be terrifying and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the 2013 remake, which I actually watched before I saw this, she was played by Julianne Moore, who's a very good actress, and she pulled it off very well. She was creepy in that movie, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But Piper Laurie, I didn't see it at all, and I still don't. Like it was cringe. It was cringy. Like that fucking scene at the end, or by the end, whenever she was like trying to kill Carrie, she had this smile on her face, which I suppose is supposed to be creepy, but it wasn't. It was just like, what the fuck? She was like, and it
That's
was,
pretty creepy.
no, it was cringy, and I hated it. But yeah, and the only other thing I've ever seen Piper Laurie in was actually Twin Peaks. She played Jack Nance's wife
Mm-hmm.
in that show, and she was okay in that, but still better than this. But I, I mean, I don't know, I don't know what else she's been in. I don't know if she's actually decent in those films. I don't know, but my God, I she was the worst in this movie. Everyone, well, others, some others I thought were at least like funny bad. Like John Travolta
Yeah,
was
yeah,
funny bad. He was bad, but he was funny at least. Like I thought he was making me laugh. I
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
and like even just seeing him smile just makes me laugh because it's just he has a funny looking face and a funny smile.
Yeah, he's an odd looking bloke.
Yeah, Um, and like, man, I don't know. I need to watch RoboCop again. It's been a while, but I'm sorry if you hear a guitar. That's my brother playing. But
RoboCop's great.
yeah.
This is a
Well,
RoboCop's top 10 movie for
eh,
sure. For sure.
but I don't remember her performance too well in that movie. But she was not very good. Nancy Allen, that is. she wasn't that great in this one. Like her line delivery was bad and stuff, and like she, especially in the scene with the gym teacher, whenever the the teacher's like, y'all have to run laps and stuff. You're not going to prom if you don't do this or whatever, and she's like. It's like I'm not going to do it. It's like you can't make me do this, and she's like crying and shit. I was like, oh
I feel
god,
like that's teenager stuff though. I mean,
yeah, but she was,
I
yeah,
honestly didn't feel anything about her performance. Like
yeah,
I more like didn't like the mom.
yeah.
John Travolta's was weird and like almost
He was funny,
almost it
but
was almost
he's
unwatchable, honestly. The when John Travolta got on
really.
screen, yeah, I was like, ugh. It might have been just because he was like beating up his girlfriend half the time and then like talking about her
Yeah,
tits
like
the other.
slapping her.
Yeah, he's like, hold on to your tits.
That was funny, actually. That made
I
me
was like,
laugh,
what the
actually.
fuck? It's so
Yeah.
gross.
The guy who played Tommy, who I said was David Spade, I was just joking. He just looks like David Spade, but with like Robert Plant
It
hair.
was he looked. I think I think honestly they did weird casting in this movie. He did
Yeah.
not look like a high schooler. It was gross. It was like
Most of these didn't look like they were in high
no.
school,
It was
anyways.
like
But
which is like for the first scene that's a good
yeah.
thing because it was just a bunch of naked school kids
All
in
right.
a room in the gym
Yeah.
locker room. Very creepy. It was
I
like
mean, if you look at it, they're at least 18, then maybe it's not so much, but still.
well, I mean they're in high school. Like it's like
Right.
that's
Right.
gross. Like
Right.
that scene should have
I
not
mean,
been done how it was
I
done.
mean that's why they didn't do that in the remake.
Yeah.
They learned
It's the
that.
one. That's the one thing I like better about the remake, probably.
Um, but let's see, what else? Okay, so Sue was okay. She wasn't great, but she was just okay at least. At least she wasn't annoying, and I don't know. Some of the lines I thought was done all right,
I
and
feel like
then
they just held her on a leash. I feel like they held
yeah, she
most of
didn't
the
really
actors
do
on a
much.
leash.
I actually
You
remember
know?
the 2013 remake, that is, not the 2002 one. I still need to watch that one, but the actress who played her in that movie was actually pretty good, and she had more things to do in the remake. Actually, I
Mhm.
remember Sue did. Um, Now I thought the gym teacher was actually one of the better
Yeah,
actors in the movie. She was actually not bad. She was pretty good, pretty decent.
yeah.
Um, am I forgetting anyone else besides Sissy Spacek?
I don't think so.
At least. Oh, PJ Souls was in this movie, and she was eh, okay, I guess.
Just
Just
a
she was the one with the hat,
yeah. She
the
was just a
Norma.
rude person. Like it was just like a lot of these characters are were
Yeah,
one dimensional.
yeah. She didn't really do much, but yeah. So okay, I gotta say, Sissy Spacek, I actually still really like in this movie. Like, I think she fit the character perfectly. Like, uh, just her, well, not only her acting, but even the way she looks. Like, she definitely looks how I think Carrie would look.
Hmm.
Unlike Chloe Grace Moretz, who portrayed her in the 2013 remake,
Yeah,
who I thought was acting wise was good in that movie. Not as good as Sissy Spacek, but I thought she was pretty good. But I gotta say, like Chloe, she is kind of a little. She's a little too beautiful, I guess you could say, for that part. I mean, she looks like she would probably just play like just you know just a I don't know if I would I don't know, like a popular girl in another movie, but she doesn't really look like the awkward type is what I'm trying to say. Um, I don't know, but but Sissy Spacek definitely does, and I'm not saying that like I mean the character of Carrie I don't think is supposed to be like beautiful or anything, but and I'm not saying that Sissy Spacek isn't like
I feel like she was.
unattractive,
I feel like
but
she. I didn't like. Uh, I think my issue with the remake is that you can't. I don't think you can remake it because Sissy Spacek won't be the lead.
Yeah,
And
sure.
the deal with Sissy Spacek is like part of why her mother is scared is that her daughter is beautiful and her daughter is powerful and all these things. So I think Sissy Spacek, like the the kind of character that she ends up becoming, and you can see Tommy like starting to like her at the um, prom, is that it kind of, I feel like it kind of ends up being like a stereotype too, which is not like the best thing, but that she's different than these other people. She looks different than the stereotypical 1970s high school girl. She looks kind of like timeless. So I wouldn't
Sure.
I wouldn't say she even looks awkward. I mean, her
I
actions
mean,
say that she's awkward, but not like her physical appearance. Like
well,
her the way she like
I
moves
mean,
through a room, yeah, but like I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say
no, okay. I, I don't know.
like she wouldn't look into people's eyes and shit like that. Like
Right.
that's is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like, I just thought she. I mean, she looked the part for me. Like, she looked like I said, she
Yeah,
looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
what Carrie would be. Um, but like, no, I'm not saying that like she's awkward in other movies and whatnot.
Mm.
Like, I don't. I'm not saying that herself, looks awkward. I'm just saying that she looks. She. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in. I'm ready for it.
Okay, but like, she's very unique looking, and like, I don't know, like some people would say like, okay, I'll give an example, like Lady Gaga, for example. Like a lot of people don't find her very attractive because she's unique looking, but there's other people, including
Mm.
myself, who I do think she is beautiful, and I think like you know, um, I mean, you can be beautiful just by you know, I think if you're unique. I don't even know where I'm going with this now. I'm kind of losing
I know.
myself.
I felt it.
But
She looks apart. I get what you're saying.
yeah, I don't even. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it was just the treatment of the remakes and stuff. It's just hard to live up to those. It's like doing a Shining remake and trying to have someone play Jack Torrance. Like that's just stupid. And they did that, and
yeah.
it was dumb.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, that's actually a reason. I actually heard about this. Like, that was a big reason why Stephen King, who by the way wrote the book, we forgot to mention that, but
Mm.
wrote the book for Carrie, along with The Shining, of course. But that's why he didn't like the Stanley Kubrick movie, was because he didn't like Jack Nicholson's performance as Jack Torrance, because he thought that it was just too much Jack Nicholson and not Jack Torrance himself. And like, I think
Probably.
I think the TV remake that they did in the '90s,
Mm.
like I think he said the actor, whoever that was, like portrayed, at least to him, that was more Jack Torrance
Mm.
than Jack Nicholson was. But at least of what I remember, I saw some of the TV remake. Of what I remember, I just remember him being bland, as Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson was like very entertaining.
It was like, yeah, it was a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
what else did you think? What's some other shit that you hated about
I hate the editing. The editing was just so bad. My God, yeah, definitely. Well, okay, I'll go and say also the cinematography was terrible too. Like Cade said before, it looked like it was a TV movie, and like there were a bunch of shots that were like really blurry, and I'm like,
it?
what the? I like, what am I even looking at? Like it was just so blurry, and I hated that. And I kind of remember Don't Look Now looking kind of blurry at times, but
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason that didn't bother me too
Well, these
much
are
like
both,
this.
like I said, yeah, these are both like lower budget
Right.
in terms of like, and also this movie spent all the money on that one scene, so
Okay.
it's like,
Sure.
you know,
I will say that scene, while I think I remember the remake doing it better, but I won't knock these effects and whatnot. That was just, I mean, that was before CGI and whatnot. So, the effects are fine in this movie, even though very dated. But I can appreciate the
The
effects. It was fine
old
to me.
effects adds a different, you know, it adds a different quality to it.
Yeah.
Um, and also, like, I think the thing is, at least what I'm trying to get across, is that the remake left no impact on society. No one cares about the remake. And
Well, no, of
well, I
course.
mean, like, it's not. This movie left a cultural impact on at least the United States. Um, and
Excuse me.
through the trailer alone, it left an impact. But um, so I think that alone shows that it did something effective. Um, you know, because as dated as the effects are, that really didn't even make me. I really didn't even think about them at all. It was mainly like just the everything around the effects that I was like, oh, this is pretty funny. Like the
Yeah.
pacing was rough, which I'm sure we're
God, the
gonna get
pacing
into.
was so bad too. Like, it was weird though. Like first, it was like really fast, and then
Mm,
it got once it got to the prom scene, it went like so slow.
mm,
Like the build up to the whole pig's blood thing took about like seemed like it took about 10 minutes, and like
mm.
I hated that. I hated how I was just like, just do it already. And like even like it seemed like it took about a good 2 or 3 minutes, like after she got uh you know after the pig's blood landed on her. Like it took like about 2 minutes for her to even start killing everyone and whatnot. And
Yeah,
like I don't know. It was just, I guess they're just doing that for suspense and stuff to keep you on your toes, but still, like,
and even just filler, dude.
yeah.
I think I've never read a full novel by Stephen King. I've read short
Oh, yeah.
stories, but
I haven't read any
I've never
either.
read Carrie. But I'd be curious to know
Yeah.
how dense it is because there really isn't. Like I said, there's not much to this movie. There's not much going on. Um, and I feel like some of those things, like the spinning scene at the prom
Oh,
with the
God.
aqua
Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
that could be
Uh,
cut down way down.
yeah.
And then the moment
Did we even talk about that?
I mentioned it a little bit.
Okay, but it was that part when Carrie and Tommy were
Yeah, yeah.
dancing, and it was just like spinning first a little slow, and then it got faster and faster, and like really fast by the end. And
Which is it's a good
ugh,
idea, but through how they did it was
yeah,
not very effective.
sure. I think
Um,
maybe this. I think just the way it looks too. Maybe that's affected it too. Like if it looked better, like the cinematography and whatnot, you know,
I
if
think
if it looked better, then maybe it would have been okay. But
maybe I think honestly, like are you talking about like the colors of the scene, like how they
yeah,
affect your eyes? Maybe.
I think that made me even more nauseous with the. Well, I
Really?
mean, I mean with it spinning. Yeah,
Mm.
like for real, I felt like I was about to throw up. I actually put like a pillow in front of my face
It was
the
pretty
whole
funny.
time. I I hated that.
Yeah, that could have been cut. The moment things started going in slow motion, like right before they dropped
Oh yeah.
the pig's blood, but it wasn't like right before. Like it took like a while.
Yes.
Like the
Yes.
anticipation started up really quick, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
10, 10,
yeah.
15 seconds could have been cut off that,
Yeah, it showed
you
like
know.
Sue was like looking on, and like it showed her trying to stop, and then the gym teacher saw her, and she's like, "Get out of here!" And
Yeah.
yeah, it was like all that was in slow mo, and
Hmm.
yeah.
And then I think honestly shit gets interesting like right after the Big's blood falls and she starts seeing the Pink Floyd kaleidoscope thing where people are like in a like you know what I mean, like the effect where there's like
Oh, I
four
forgot
or five
about that.
heads.
I forgot about that.
That's where
Yeah,
the movie got interesting to me because it was like
sure.
her mom was like she heard her mom's voice in her head, and then she like started her mind started making everyone look like they were laughing at her, like even the gym teacher. and stuff like that. Her mind made her
Oh
think that
yeah.
she laughed at her, and it just went on freaking
Sure.
killing
That
people.
was all right.
I think yeah, that
That there was actually some good shots too. Like her leaving the prom afterwards. I
hmm
liked that
yeah,
shot. That was
yeah,
actually pretty cool. But
yeah.
but yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about a couple edits that I hated or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, but there was one shot. I think there was one shot. It was the scene where the gym teacher found Carrie, uh, like, and she's like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she's like, "I've been asked to prom," and like, there and stuff like that. And they were like in the bathroom. It's like, well, I see this pretty girl. Something,
Put a little
put
mascara
mascara.
on. Yeah.
One thing even the first time watching it, I was like, "What the fuck?" They had to zoom in that was like slowly zooming in on both of them, and it looked like it was about to zoom in on Carrie, but then it went to the gym teacher at the end, and I'm like, what? Like it should have zoomed in on Carrie. Like that would have made so much more
It's
sense.
depending.
It
Yeah,
was weird.
in my head when I was watching it, I was like, in another movie, maybe one that was more planned, they would have like there'd be some sort of meaning to that zoom, but I don't think in this movie there
No,
was at
yeah,
all.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they if it had some, if like they had like a like say if it kind of made it look like there was gonna be a twist or something with the gym teacher, like turns out she's evil or
Yeah, like the
something.
gym teacher was like, because honestly, everyone was kind of, because there was the bullies in this movie
Uh-huh.
that fucked with her, and then there was even the nice people in the movie were kind of, they agreed with the bullies that she was weird and awkward. So, like, even the gym teacher was like, yeah, she was fucking screaming and it was just her period and stuff. And,
Oh yeah.
like, so I was like, okay, this gym teacher, maybe she thinks she's just being virtuous because now she's being nice to this kid. And
Uh-huh.
is like, oh, well, let's doll you up. Let's make you someone else.
Sure.
But then it did really, she just ended up being kind of a nice gym teacher. She's like a pretty even character, so the zoom did not serve a purpose at all, like you were saying. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah. It
was
made
just
no
pointless.
sense.
Pointless.
It made no sense.
Pointless.
And then there was one scene where everyone was getting ready for the prom, and it had Tommy and his friends, and like
That was funny.
it was like at the they were like
Oh.
shopping for tuxes and stuff, and like they did this weird thing where like they were like they were like arguing and stuff, and then it had like the conversation was like sped up like it was a comedy or
It
something,
spit up like Alvin and the Chipmunk style, like it was that
right?
voice. But yeah, it was just like a weird.
It
And
was so weird. Like
those,
what the fuck? I was like, I even said I was like, is this even a horror movie anymore?
I was like, man.
I mean,
But
to tell you the truth, it probably isn't a horror movie until the prom. Honestly,
there's
but
honestly, I will say this also, I forgot to mention, the abuse scenes
they were
are
terrible.
no, 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 no. I
They were done terribly for
I don't
Dr. Laurie. I'm sorry.
I don't know, bro. Like the first one where she throws her in the closet, shit. Like that happens to people in real life.
Yeah,
And like I was just thinking, like if that happened to me, this would be like awful watching this because
sure.
as much as like the mom was overselling it and was like being kind of weird, like she still fucking slapped her daughter and was like dragging her into a closet
Yeah,
with a statue of Jesus in there. Like I think those were, they could be more effective, but I think they were, for the time they were really effective.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. I don't. I am curious to see if I was if I was around back then, what would I think about that? Would I still think that this is a shitty movie? I don't know, but
yeah,
like I do get it. It's just a dated movie,
yeah,
but
yep.
I mean maybe that's why I hate it. I don't know,
I listen. I
but
think that's my argument here because I do have like an argument and a point of view, and I think it's that you watch you watch a lot of movies of a lot of different genres, but a lot of your favorite ones I've noticed
Yeah.
there's a lot of great technical ability. There's a lot of things make sense. And this movie, through being kind of bad, doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. And I think that's still valid though. And there's a whole pool of movies um, that don't make any sense but make you feel something.
Mm.
And this movie I don't think made it didn't look like it made you feel anything really. Like it didn't like
Yeah.
give you any like emotions from the movie itself
The
other
only
than that it's you know
the only emotions I felt was cringe when it came
yeah,
to Piper
yes,
Laurie's
yes, that's what I mean.
stuff, but that's about
um
it. Oh, there was some stuff that made me laugh too,
yeah.
but mostly just because it was bad funny. But
Mhm. like i
like John Travolta or whatever.
I think you and I kind of come from two different traditions of like film stuff. Like, for
Sure.
instance, I don't think I'm willing to suspend my uh, belief with like practical effects. I think CGI
Mm.
is just like other art forms have been really digitized. I think it's not as fun as
Yeah.
the old style stuff because the old style stuff it's more like playing.
Sure.
It's more like, okay, these people made these machines and these practical effects. Like, isn't that kind of wild? And all these actors are playing it so straight that you know it kind of it puts you in a different world. But when you see like a fucking CGI Godzilla or something like that, or
Yeah.
a CGI horror movie, which is pretty much every horror movie now, most of them are gross looking. I would exclude some stuff that's done in more.
Hereditary.
Yeah, I would exclude things like that use CGI in a more tasteful way. But most horror
Black
movies,
Swan too.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. And it looks like the new um, Ari Aster movie um, has a lot of CGI in it, but it looks very interesting. Like it
I
looks,
haven't
it
seen
looks. The
trailers.
trailers are really fun,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, I think I just appreciate the knives flying in the air through a string or whatever they're using to do that.
Yeah.
It's just
I
fun.
didn't mind that. The practical stuff I didn't mind. Yeah,
I do
it's
think that
fine.
I think the water hose was pretty impressive, I will say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, because knives through an air
Okay.
is one
I think
thing,
I
but
kind of
that
remember
water
that.
hose was like, I mean, obviously they probably use like a some sort of stabilizer. I don't know, but it was pretty impressive, I will say.
You know, now that I think about it, if they got a better actress for Carrie's mom, then
Yeah,
maybe I would appreciate this movie more for what it is. Maybe I would like it at least as much as I liked The People Under the Stairs, which I thought that movie wasn't great, but it was at least fun
yeah,
and whatnot. But like, I think it's just her. She ruins this movie for me. I
fair
can't
enough.
stand
She's
her.
an integral part of it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love Sissy Spacek in this.
Mm.
I thought she was great. What did you not like about her or whatever? Did you say
I
already?
felt I felt that like um I think she did the best she could,
Uh,
but I think it was like sometimes I mean I just kind of noticed I think I thought her performance was weird because everyone else was like I didn't believe them, but sometimes I would believe her. Like when she
I
was
always
when she
believe
was
her.
screaming in the closet, I was like, "Dang, this is scary." But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
but then
She sold that.
yeah, but then she would be like
That was like the only thing she made that scene scary was her. But
sometimes she just I don't know, sometimes she I feel like she was acting I don't know.
what parts?
I think it might have I can't even think about I mean I'll have a few scenes, but I think maybe the it might have just been the writing, honestly. Like they've sometimes she was
Her
like,
lines.
yeah, like sometimes they made her be really childish, and other times it was like she figured everything out.
Really childish.
Yeah, like her like childish, innocent, unwise, like kind of, you know, because of the whole religious
Let's see. I think
abuse and
yeah.
things like that. But then, as soon as she realized that she had like powers, she was like liberated in her mind and things. And it just seemed like kind of it would go back and forth. Like she'd be all confident in front of her mom and like throw her on the bed and stuff with her brain, but then be intimidated by this boy. But I don't know. I think it just felt kind of like disjointed a little bit. But I don't know. It's not that wasn't like a huge thing that made or braid the movie, but um yeah, I think it was just kind of I don't know. But also, who knows? But what are you zooming in on?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Let me pause this real quick. I'm my sister-in-law texted me, so I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. All right, we're back.
We're
Sorry
back.
about that. So no, like I said, I thought her performance was. I thought she fitted the role. She looked the part. She was just.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I thought she was great.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't really. I just had
Oh
like
yeah, I
this
forgot.
feeling every
I
now
was
and
gonna
again.
check.
But
I think she was nominated for
oh yeah,
an
probably.
Oscar too. Yeah, sure, well deserved.
It's kind of
Piper
funny.
Laurie.
It's funny
No,
though. I like it. Just shows like how much uh this movie kind of freaked people out because like I'm sure there was much better actresses or performances in movies that year. But
Taxi Driver came out the same year as Carrie
that's what I'm saying.
'76.
Like I'm like, okay, there are definitely better performances, but this movie just freaked people out so bad. They thought their fucking classmate was gonna kill them with can
Oh, you're talking about
telekinetic
horror
powers.
movies. We're talking about horror
Oh, just
movies.
any movie.
Okay.
Yeah, just any movie that year.
Oh,
Cause like I mean, I appreciate this movie for what it is. It's like an old horror movie that just kind of set up some tropes for future things and had kind of a cool atmosphere sometimes. But it is pretty wild. People really do love this movie, as you said. You said,
yeah.
but
Um.
probably any Carrie media. I think this is the last time I'll watch it, though. I'll be honest. So I mean, I do like this
Okay.
movie, but you know, yeah.
So yes, the only nominations were Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie, but Sissy Spacek, sure. They both lost though.
I mean, this movie just made me think of like how like kind of weird the '70s were though. Like all the
Yeah.
boys in the movie, I was like, you guys are kind of really unattractive. Like no offense, but like I was like, y'all look weird. Your hair doesn't make any sense. It just looks like you bought a wig and put it on your head. No style, no nothing. It was odd. And then yeah,
Did David
fucking
Spade go back in time?
he looked so weird. His hair was like,
Tommy.
and his smile was so like
Yeah.
yearbook photo all the time. It was weird.
Yeah. Angelo Gort played him in the remake, who was in Baby Driver, and I remember him not being that great either, but he was better at least. At least he looked normal.
Yeah, yeah.
At
He
least he
looks funny
looked
now though. I
normal.
think. I think all the
But
the allegations of
oh
molestation
yeah, I
kind of made
forgot
him look.
about that.
They've aged him a little bit.
I forgot about that. That's crazy.
So I mean, just yeah, actors go wild, man, and I guess non-actor, everyone goes wild, but
Yeah, I
people
gotta watch that remake
people need to
again.
stop being scumbags.
I might watch it. I might watch the 2013 remake again. I remember I watched it whenever I watched this the first time, and I was like, "Yeah, that one's so much better." Even though that wasn't like a great movie either,
I
but
just
still.
I just found that the remake blended in with all the other movies coming out at the time, like that era
Sure.
of horror movies.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
it's probably a better
But
movie, honestly. But
yeah,
I'll take some uniqueness over well
yeah,
done movie any day of the week.
yeah. There was one in 2002 as well.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've heard it wasn't good, but
Probably not.
but I'll see about that.
I'll take a look
Oh
at
yeah,
that.
who? Hold on. I think what's her name? I think I know. Oh shit. I think I know who played her mom in the 2002 remake. I actually found that out. Let's see. I can find her.
Who was it?
I don't know. Talk till I find it.
Uh, the 70s were an interesting time for horror. They were figuring out what they were doing, and right as they did, it got kind of, um, shall I say, overcooked by the late 80s.
Oh,
You
there's a
know,
sequel in the '90s apparently to The
The
Rage.
Rage.
Carrie
Is he in that?
Let's see.
It's like, no.
No,
Who the hell is that?
I don't know.
They just made. Listen, the
That's a
problem.
cash grab right
The
there.
problem with the movie industry is that they're just making
That's
sequels,
the
baby.
2002 remake.
That looks pretty scary. That's a scary image, but
Yeah.
you know. Ah, blood on a body.
Um,
Oh,
Patricia Clarkson played
oh.
played her mom. That's right. She's a
Ah.
pretty good
Hmm.
actress. I'm trying to. Yeah.
Everyone sees your dirty
Do,
pillows.
do you recognize her?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What a lady.
Yeah, she's a pretty good actress. What did I see with her? Not that long. Oh yeah, Lars and the Real Girl. That's where I saw her not that long ago. With Ryan Gosling. That was a good movie
A romantic movie.
with a sex doll. That's
Oh,
what it
isn't
is.
that shit creepy? Like a creepy movie?
It's more depressing than creepy.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
it's not really a creepy. I mean, it kind of yeah, a little bit, but it's more depressing than
They
anything.
had Ryan Gosling play an incel. That's such an interesting
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
So,
It's about
uh,
mental illness. It's a good
oh,
movie.
I don't,
It's good.
I don't know anything about it. I just saw one image of him and I was like,
Right.
this looks like it'd be a lot for my brain today.
Yeah, there it is. There. That
Oh well,
poster
that he
there.
looks nice in that. He looks normalish.
Yeah,
I saw like a scary looking photo. Like
with
maybe,
him and the woman.
yeah.
The woman.
I remember him being like bald or like wearing gross
No, he.
glasses or
Oh,
something.
oh no, no.
What am I thinking
I
about?
don't know. But that's not it.
Okay,
He didn't. He didn't look like that.
maybe I'm thinking about a different movie.
No, he looked
Huh.
normal. He didn't.
Okay,
He
yeah.
looked normal.
I'm thinking about a different movie then, because the image that I remember was like some gross looking
Oh
man.
no.
Maybe I'm putting two movies together, like 1 hour photo or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't
I
know.
need to see that
I don't
movie.
know. Creepy ass
Off
Robert Williams.
topic as always.
Hey man.
Okay, now one thing I do want to mention that we haven't talked about yet, the ending. Now I will be honest, the ending was actually good.
See, dude.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing I thought was actually scary was the ending. So the ending, you didn't even mention it. Should we talk about it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it ends fucking Nightmare on Elm Street style. Then this is,
Oh
I
right,
swear,
right.
the blur, the sort of dreamlike blur that's through his whole
Now
movie.
that worked because that was a
Yeah.
dream. That works
Yeah.
with the blur.
Um.
Or wait,
But I mean,
I
even
mean literally blur. The cinematography,
like,
how cloudy it looked. Is that what you were saying?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Nightmare on Elm Street does look like that.
Kind of like how this video looks,
Yeah.
but that's because of low quality.
Yeah. Um.
I just looked over. I noticed. Yeah, that looks kind of shitty.
Sue survived the traumatic event, but she's traumatized, obviously, because everyone died. So she's dreaming. She's been sleeping a lot because trauma, and she has this nightmare of going to uh, uh, Carrie's old house where the house got caved in and it's just rubble. And there's a fucking tombstone or like a cross or what was it, just a sign? I don't even remember what
It was a sign. It was like a for sale sign.
Oh, it's a for sale
on
sign.
a cross.
Yeah,
It made it look
yeah.
like a cross, and then like it was written like on markers as Carrie White burns in hell, or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
And sweet old Sue, she's got empathy. She gives flowers to that for sale sign, and then Carrie's bloody arm grabs her on the bottom,
Yeah, it just reaches out. That was actually pretty terrifying.
Which is like, and honestly, listen, Nightmare on Elm Street did a lot better.
I just remembered. I just remember the Weird Al movie parodied that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
VHS parodied that?
No. The one with Daniel Radcliffe, the new one.
Oh.
The biopic of Weird Al. That parodied that ending of Carrie. not UHF.
Oh, UHF. Yeah, I said what did I say? BHF.
Probably.
I think.
But yeah.
Yeah. So the ending was scary, and I think it set up like the horror movie spike. I mean, obviously there was like
Damn, he's still playing in
there's
there.
there are those
Sorry.
there's those
Hopefully it's not too loud in this
the
video.
horror movie endings have been a staple where it ends with a scare since like the beginning of time. But this, I think, really set in stone what kind of the 80s were gonna be like.
I feel like he's playing some SpongeBob music in
It's
there.
playing, it's playing some Delta blues. Um, but yeah, so the ending was good. I think it was like I don't know how else you'd fucking end it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that was actually hell. This is crazy to say, but I thought that ended better than The Shining, which I'm not a huge fan of the ending of The Shining, mostly because I don't understand it. But yeah,
I saw some things
and
recently.
also I didn't really like how they just killed him off. He just froze to death. I was kind of dumb. But anyways, go ahead.
Uh, he was like making a devil pose in the photo. He was like holding up a certain hand movement, and it's like the famous drawing of some devilish figure. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Recently, I saw that the picture matches the photo
Oh,
pretty similarly, and I was like,
yeah. And
interesting.
usually horror movies in general too. I usually think they don't have, even if they're pretty good as horror movies, they usually don't. The endings usually don't work for me, with the exception of this and Hereditary and Candyman, which I think that's my favorite ending to a horror movie was Candyman.
See, yeah, a lot of I would group. See, Candyman ends on a high note, like what
Yeah,
what I'm saying with Carrie as well. But that is like literally how 99% of horror movies end with like a jump scare or whatever. And
sure,
some definitely do it better than others, which I get what you're saying. But it is very interesting that sometimes they land, sometimes they're just cheap, you know. And I think
hmm,
this one lands definitely. Candyman lands for sure. Hereditary is a different kind of ending, but
right,
that one lands most definitely.
yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah,
this movie's an enigma.
yeah. Also, I just want to point out, with the exception of like The Shining, that is like the only like ironically like good Stephen King horror movie in my opinion. Like usually when it comes to like the best Stephen King adaptation, they're usually not horror
Yeah,
movies like Shawshank,
yeah.
Green Mile, My Favorite Stand by Me.
Mhm.
Um, but like and I say like unironically because I do like the original It and Children of the Corn, and
Yeah.
they're not great movies, but at least they're fun, and I really like them a lot. Even better than this, better than Carrie, in my
Oh yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think Stephen King, he could be another
yeah.
conversation, but he's
I mean, I'm sure
eh,
his stories are good. Like I think Carrie is a pretty decent story,
yeah,
but it just wasn't done very well, in my opinion.
yeah.
At least on the first version. I thought it was done a little bit better in 2013, but I need to rewatch that, and then I need to watch the 2002 one. But
You're a warrior. I would never do that.
oh, watch the 2002 one.
Well, like
I'll
watching them all sometime.
I'll check it
Like I'm like, damn.
out.
I had my fill of Carrie media today, forever. You know.
Cool.
And honestly, a lot of like Stephen King stuff. Eh. I like the one that he hated the most.
Right.
You know, I don't,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't think I really dig Stephen King that much, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Fuck
mean,
him.
I appreciate him as a writer, but
Clive Barker for life. Fuck you, Stephen King. Fuck
damn. Did he write those movies, Clive Barker?
you. He directed the first Hellraiser, and he
Yeah.
wrote it.
And he directed Candyman as well.
Did he? I don't
Pretty
even
sure.
know.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I know it was a story of his, but it
Uh,
was about. I don't think he directed it though.
Oh, he didn't. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
the original story I think took place in like Great Britain. It wasn't even about
Isn't he
slaves.
a director, Clive Barker?
Yeah, he directed Hellraiser and a few other things,
Okay.
but some of the other shit he
No,
directed was
Bernard
bad.
Rose directed, and I guess wrote the screenplay too. But
Yeah, he made that movie about sort of America because Clive is a Brit, and I believe the original
oh,
Candyman was a British
was it a book?
short story, I think, or a
Okay.
book. Honestly, his shit's kind of weird.
Damn, this starting to look like Carrie now.
Mhm.
The cinematography, I mean, our
Uh,
quality.
Plus we're like pasty white Irish boys,
Right. It's
Irish heritage.
yeah. I have the blinds open,
A
the
little natural
window,
light, a little
and
natural
it
light for you boys out there.
yeah, and it's starting to get later anyway. So
Um, but even like he didn't write a book called Hellraiser. He wrote a book called, I believe, The Hellbound Heart, which was made into Hellraiser. Like it was
oh,
like the
okay,
same, some of the similar characters and themes and stuff. So
yeah.
his shit's kind of looser. I think it was The Hellbound Heart, or it might have been a
I need
different
to
one.
watch Hellraiser because I actually didn't future episode maybe, but look out for that. But like I for a long time I had no interest in that movie until a friend of mine um told me about it, and I'm like, okay, that actually sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's a top.
Something like a like kind of like a maze or something, some kind of game they have to do, and then like whoever wins gets killed by by Pinhead,
Mm,
something like that. He said,
well, it's like no, it's like it's not. It's about like finding the limits of pain and pleasure, and until they overlap. So someone who has lived a life of like um, extreme forms of sexual activity and extreme forms of sexual violence, they want more and more pain and pleasure.
"Oh,
So that's why they find him. Like they open this puzzle box, but it's not really a game.
okay."
They just open this box up, and that invites the Cenobites to throw hooks in their skin and have a painful orgasm. Pretty much, it's about like yeah, it's like it's more like about pain and pleasure and where those things can interlock.
Anyway, same guy who did
Yeah,
Candyman, so I gotta watch
yeah. But
it
this
then.
is listen. It's a different experience than Candyman for sure.
Sure,
Candyman's way
sure,
more like a straight up movie.
yeah.
Hellraiser. I need to watch the first three again. I've watched like half of the second one, and my Wi-Fi had blacked out or something back when I was living in Oklahoma City, and I never
Boo.
watched it ever again. But I want to watch the first three because those are the only ones that anyone needs to watch. The rest of them,
There's more than three.
there's like, listen,
Gross.
they lost like the fucking demons. Own the movie, the fucking rapists and shit. The fucking what's their fucking name? Not Epstein. The guy, you know what I'm talking about.
Harvey Weinstein?
Yes, yes, yes. The
Okay.
Weinstein brothers own this movie.
Oh, did there?
Yes, and so what you do, you have to make a movie every 2 years or 3 years, or you'll lose the copyright,
Hmm.
and you won't own the movie anymore. So they just made like 9 movies, didn't release them in theaters, just straight DVD on demand because like they're just bullshit. They're terrible.
Like they said, Epstein is it a
I mean,
Weinstein?
same guy, same evil man's. Well, a little different, but uh, they probably were best friends. I don't know, but anyway,
I don't
yeah,
even know who Epstein was, to be honest.
a billionaire
Okay.
pedophile though.
Okay.
So similar. Um,
I've heard of him,
but
I
yeah,
just.
only watch the first three Hellraisers. Okay, three.
You talking to me or them?
Everyone.
Okay.
And even the third
I
one's
don't
kind
even
of
know if
hilarious.
I don't even know if I'll watch the sequels. I just at least watch the
Watch.
first.
Let me watch the second one. I think the second one is like really good though. I've heard like
Okay.
great things. Like I heard that it's like those movies are actually good together. But then shit started falling off with the third one. But the third one has like a dude with like who shoots CDs out of his body. So it's
What?
kind of crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. All right, we're way off topic now. So
I like
if
Hellraiser a lot. It
if
was
there's
fun.
anything else you want to talk about
Um,
before we end it, we gotta give our ratings, overall thoughts and
Take
ratings.
take what you can get from a movie if you have to watch it for a podcast. And
What do you mean?
like you know, take it for what it is. If you see creativity in it, and a genuine attempt at doing something spooky, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Whatever, whatever. I think this movie affected a lot of people, and I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my final thought, I guess.
Okay, so what do you rate this movie?
6 out of 10.
Okay,
Yes. Yes,
six
sir,
out of
sir,
10.
sir.
By the way, this guy said that he likes it better than Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho, like if I could redo my ranking, I would give it a 0.
Oh
To
my
be honest with you,
god,
like that movie.
you're insane.
Well, no, because we were talking about
It's
it.
not that bad.
It's so uninspired. It's like a gross, not fun to look
Come
at
on, the
movie.
four. I like the cinematography.
I think it's really ugly. I'll be honest, but that just shows the difference in what like
right.
you would be.
The performances
Are.
were good.
Yeah, they're fine.
I'll talk bad about
0.
my girl Anya Taylor-Joy now.
No, she's fine. I got no quarrels with her.
It's fine. Okay. Anyways, uh, so okay, you said 6.
Yep, 6 out of 10.
Okay, that's actually a lot lower than I thought you would give it, but
Really?
yeah. But I'm gonna give it a 4. I was thinking 3 originally, but I was like, I'll give it a 4 because I think the only thing that like I really hated about it was Piper Laurie, and well, the editing too and whatnot, the cinematography editing also, but like I think Sissy Spacek kind of like makes it a little bit better. So
Yeah. For sure.
so yeah.
Wow.
But anyways,
We weren't as far apart as I think we were. We anticipated.
yeah.
4 and 6. That's not that far. Okay, that's not. It's not that far.
I'm actually glad that you at least think it's a flawed movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, last time I watched this, I was in high school,
Yeah,
or like late middle school or something. But I knew that this.
I watched this in 2020 during the pandemic. So
Yeah, like I even remember like watching this in high school, and I'd be like, man, like everyone's just hitting each other. Like it's kind of weird. Teacher slapped the student. The dude slapped his girlfriend all the time. Mom slaps Sissy Spacek. Like I was just like, damn, like there's a lot of slapping.
that's funny.
Like I don't know. Maybe the '70s were different. I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 and 4, 64 years old.
All right. All right. 6-4. Okay, so there we go. There is the episode of Your Cousins Are Critics of Carrie. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I'm not sure what our next movie will be, and I'm not sure when it will be because this guy is going to be gone for a week at least. Your face right now. He's gonna be gone for a week. Where are you going again?
Hopefully, we don't have any creepy, violent people watching. Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Which is not here. Which is not where we are
Yeah,
right now.
we're in Oklahoma, so. But yeah, he's gonna. I won't be a cowboy. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, he won't be here for about a week, so at least a week or so or two.
And Lord knows, once I get back, they'll make me work for like 7 days straight.
Oh, geez.
Recover from my week off.
Right.
Maybe.
We'll see. Also, he has a birthday coming up, so happy birthday to Cade.
That'd be 2-2.
22. 22.
22.
I remember I was 22. That was in 2020, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm about to turn 25.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. I must admit. Yeah. That makes me feel a little strange.
Everyone else watches is like, okay, just end the video already.
No.
Okay. Anyway, so thank you if you made it this far. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. And we'll see you sometime for season 2 of Your Cousins Are Critics.
All
right.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Bye.